Hello and welcome to the channel. This video focuses on a full test of the Monorim suspension for the AOVO Pro ES80 e-scooter. Thank you so much to Monorim for partnering with me for this video. I hope you find it useful. So we start by looking at the front suspension for the AOVO Pro ES80 as supplied by Monorim. In my opinion, I think the design looks absolutely great with that red and black matching colour scheme. It really works great with the AOVO Pro's red and black colour scheme. The rear suspension, again, great design. I think it's helpful to note that the clip, as you can see there on the top of the suspension, mates with the folding mechanism. And another important point is to note that the kickstand is slightly too short now for the scooter to stand upright with the front and rear suspension fitted. So I'll be trying to source a longer kickstand. This is the first piece of pathway that I took the scooter onto once the suspension had been fitted. I've probably done around 50-60 miles on the scooter now once I've fitted the front and rear suspension. So great to take it down here again as part of the full test. It's a really rough piece of pathway, I think probably quite deceptive looking at the footage here, and I've ridden down here on a scooter without suspension, and it was incredible to see how different the suspension made the scooter feel so much more comfortable. And then I took a left into a slightly more smoother road. This is a residential area not too far from where we live, and as you can see here, the suspension is incredibly active and making a huge difference to the comfort of the ride. I think it's helpful to also note that the rear light works when the light is switched on and flashes when the brake is applied, just like the original AOVO Pro setup. And having ridden down that rough piece of path once again, I take another left onto what is a slightly more rural piece of road. This is actually quite bumpy, and you can reach the scooter's top speed here on the flat of 19 miles an hour. Again, the scooter just feels transformed with this front and rear suspension, and I'll just pass on my thanks once again to Monorim for working with me as part of this sequence of 3 videos. The first one focused on fitting the front suspension, the second fitting the rear, and then this a full test. So 3 videos as part of this series. I think you can really see how active the suspension is when travelling down here. This is kind of like 20-21 miles an hour, slightly downhill in this section. Doesn't look quite so quick in this bit of footage, but that's the actual speed that I was travelling at. The rear suspension not quite so active. My centre of gravity is shifted forwards on the scooter in this instance, but again, the suspension incredibly active and taking away lots of the lumps and bumps. As I'm starting to conclude this journey slightly closer to home, back into a residential area, and this road again deceptively bumpy. This is a road that used to have a whole sort of forwards and backwards on it, but it was closed halfway along the road, and that has meant that the road is quite quiet nowadays. So great to be able to move up and down on using the scooter. Very little traffic on this road nowadays. Squirrels though, as you can see, that need to be avoided. And then heading back towards home past a hospital that we live nearby. And once again, you can see how active the suspension is on this quite bumpy piece of road that takes you past the hospital itself. And that really brings the test to a conclusion. A huge transformation that takes place when you fit the Monorim front and rear suspension. What a massive difference. So there you go. That was a full test of the front and rear suspension for the AOVO Pro ES80 e-scooter. Thank you so much to Monorim for partnering with me for this video. There are two previous videos on my channel, both focused on the fitting of the front and rear suspension respectively. As always, please do subscribe to the channel. It would help me out so much, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.